First, we need to dive into what Toronto Tempo head coach Sandy Brondello recently said about Caitlin Clark because her remarks are generating serious conversation across the basketball world right now. The reason so many fans and analysts are reacting isn't because the comments were controversial, it's because Sandy simply said what a lot of people have already been thinking. At the same time, there are new developments surrounding the Caitlin Clark rollout, and for the first time in a while, the pieces seem to be falling into place. Fans have already gotten a look at several different colorways, and a newly released promotional video provided another exciting preview of what could be coming in the near future. There is plenty to unpack and several important details worth discussing, so let's jump straight into it. Sandy, the spotlight is on you, and you already know the fans have a lot of respect for what you bring to the game. Now, some people may hear these comments and immediately start throwing around the word tampering, but that's a debate for another day.
Okay. Well, Sandy, do you have any update on Sloan?
No, she'll be evaluated. Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
You guys are down 3 at the time that she goes down, and she's meant so much to you guys. What's the challenge in trying to regroup and all of that when you lose her?
Yeah, obviously she's been playing so good for us and doing so much for us at both ends of the floor. So when you lose, one of your best players, it's tough. But no one's going to feel pity for us. We just got a next player up mentality, and I thought we competed hard, but obviously we had players. They're our role players that. Couldn't find ways that we could fill Slim's shoes. It's going to be really hard, but we just got to hope that she's not too injured. This injury bug, this has got to get behind us. See how many players we got injured, and it's hard, but in the end, the only positive you look at, they get opportunities for everyone else to be evaluated and see what we've got. So, I thought we competed as well as hard as we could. Thanks, I guess.
Oh, sorry, Jill Bear, one more. So. Go ahead, Jill Bear.
Oh, thank you. Coach, just quickly, it looked like the defensive strategy was working on Caitlin Clark a little bit there in the beginning, but she was affecting you in the other areas like assist and stuff like that. What do you think you needed to do to be able to contain her?
Yeah, she's a hard guy because she's coming with so much speed in the transition with the high drags. We were just trying to crowd her as much as we can and then shrink off certain other players. But yeah, she's just crafty. I think, when Slim wasn't there and Julie wasn't there, they were our 2 main players that were guarding her to a high level. And Maria, she played hard, but, Caitlin is just really too crafty. So, Caitlin's a great player, and she certainly, she created, 14 assists. She's created for her teammates as well, too, when we started probably ball watching a little bit more. But yeah, we can learn from it and move forward.
Maybe Sandy Brondello and Caitlin Clark need to exchange numbers and keep the conversation going because at this point, nobody really knows how much longer everything is going to remain calm and comfortable in Indiana. The situation continues to create speculation, and with every passing week, the questions seem to grow even louder. Who knows? Maybe Clark and Brondello will end up discussing a future plan when the off-season arrives. For now, let's take a closer look at exactly what Sandy had to say and why her words are attracting so much attention. The conversation then shifted toward the injury situation, and the response from Sandy Brondello immediately caught people's attention. She explained that there was no major update at the moment and that the player would continue to be evaluated, while also expressing hope that the issue didn't appear overly serious. As the questions continued, the focus turned to the challenge of losing such an important contributor during a critical point in the game. Sandy didn't try to sugarcoat the reality of the situation. She acknowledged that the team had been relying heavily on her production and impact on both ends of the floor, making her absence incredibly difficult to overcome. When a team loses one of its most valuable players, there is no easy solution, and Brondello made it clear that nobody around the league is going to feel sorry for them. Instead, the expectation is simple. The next player has to step up and be ready for the opportunity. She praised her team's effort and competitiveness, but admitted that replacing the production and presence left behind was never going to be an easy task. At the same time, she remained optimistic that the injury would not be a long-term setback, pointing out that the roster has already been hit hard by multiple injuries throughout the season. Despite the frustration, Sandy emphasized that adversity can also create opportunities, giving other players valuable minutes and allowing the coaching staff to evaluate the depth of the roster in real game situations. Even through all the challenges, she believed her team fought as hard as possible and continued competing until the final moments, which is ultimately the mindset they will need moving forward. As the press conference continued, the discussion turned directly to Caitlin Clark and the defensive game plan designed to slow her down. The question suggested that the strategy may have worked at times early in the game, but even when Clark wasn't scoring at her usual pace, she was still impacting the contest through her playmaking and ability to create opportunities for everyone around her. Sandy Brondello didn't hesitate to explain just how difficult that challenge really is. She pointed out that Clark attacks with tremendous speed in transition, constantly puts pressure on defenses with aggressive drives, and forces opponents into difficult decisions every possession. The goal, according to Brondello, was to crowd her space, make her uncomfortable, and shrink the floor whenever possible, but executing that for an entire game is far easier said than done. She also acknowledged that injuries played a major role, especially with two of the team's strongest defenders unavailable, leaving others to take on an incredibly demanding assignment. While the replacement players competed hard and gave maximum effort, Brondello made it clear that guarding Caitlin Clark is one of the toughest jobs in basketball because of how creative and unpredictable she can be with the ball in her hands. What stood out most was the level of respect in her comments. Rather than focusing only on points scored, she highlighted Clark's ability to generate offense for everyone else, pointing directly to the 14 assists and the countless scoring chances she created throughout the game. Brondello admitted that there were moments when her team became too focused on watching the ball, and Clark immediately took advantage by finding open teammates and controlling the flow of the offense. The takeaway from her remarks was simple. Even when defenses believe they have a solid plan in place, Caitlin Clark's combination of speed, vision, basketball IQ, and creativity makes her extremely difficult to contain. And perhaps the most telling part of the entire exchange was just how often Brondello mentioned Clark by name, repeatedly acknowledging the impact she had on the game and reinforcing exactly why so many coaches around the league view her as one of the most challenging players to defend. At the end of the day, that was really the message coming from Sandy Brondello's comments. The defensive plan was there, the effort was there, and multiple defenders were constantly being thrown at Caitlin Clark, but none of it was enough to completely take her out of the game. Even when she wasn't scoring every possession, she was still controlling everything happening on the floor. One minute, she's firing a perfect pass to a cutting teammate. The next, she's creating an open three from the opposite side of the court, and before defenses can adjust, she's already making another play. That's what makes Clark such a unique player. Her impact extends far beyond points because she has the ability to influence every area of the game at an elite level. She can score from deep range, push the pace in transition, create opportunities for teammates, dominate the assist column, and completely change the way opposing defenses are forced to operate. That versatility is what separates her from so many other guards around the league. She isn't simply filling up one category on the stat sheet. She's affecting every category and dictating the rhythm of the entire game. And when respected coaches openly acknowledge that reality, it only reinforces what fans have been watching for months. At the same time, the conversation around Indiana continues to grow louder, with many supporters questioning how the organization has handled certain situations and wondering what the future could eventually look like. Those questions aren't going away anytime soon. Adding even more excitement to the discussion was the release of a new Caitlin Clark promotional video that quickly grabbed attention across social media. The footage highlighted the moments that have turned her into one of the biggest stars in basketball, showcasing her deep shooting range, competitive fire, leadership, and ability to take over games when the pressure is highest. The video painted a picture of a player who thrives in the spotlight, embraces the biggest stages, and consistently delivers memorable moments. From long-distance three-pointers to impossible passes and game-changing plays, Every clip served as another reminder of why so many people believe Clark has already transformed the sport. The overall message was impossible to miss. Caitlin Clark isn't just one of basketball's brightest stars right now. She's a player whose influence continues to reshape the game every time she steps onto the court. As the video continued, Caitlin Clark delivered a message that perfectly reflected her mindset, emphasizing that she still has plenty of room to grow and many areas of her game she wants to improve despite everything she has already accomplished. That level of confidence mixed with humility is a big reason why so many fans connect with her. But what really caught people off guard were some of the familiar faces that appeared throughout the montage. Seeing veteran stars show support and offer praise added another layer to an already impressive production. One particular moment stood out when Caitlin was credited with changing the game of basketball, a statement that immediately grabbed attention because it echoed what many fans have been saying for quite some time. The entire video felt like a celebration of her impact, highlighting not only her incredible talent, but also the influence she has had on the sport's popularity and visibility. Credit deserves to go to whoever edited and produced the project because the pacing, the highlights, and the player testimonials all came together perfectly. From beginning to end, the presentation was engaging, polished, and packed with memorable moments that reminded viewers just how significant Clark's rise has been. Then the focus shifted toward another major development that had fans buzzing, the reveal of the Nike Caitlin 1. For many supporters, this was the moment they had been waiting for. The early previews instantly generated excitement, especially the blue colorway that stood out with a clean and eye-catching design. The sneaker looked sleek, modern, and built for performance while still carrying plenty of style. As more images surfaced, anticipation only continued to grow. Then came another look featuring an all-black version, and that colorway immediately turned heads as well. The darker design gave the shoe an entirely different vibe, making it feel bold, premium, and incredibly versatile. At that point, it became clear that excitement wasn't limited to just one version of the sneaker. Fans were already talking about collecting multiple pairs, and the overall reaction was overwhelmingly positive. Whether it's the blue edition, the black edition, or whatever colorways arrive next, the early response suggests that the Caitlin 1 launch has the potential to become one of the most talked about basketball shoe releases in recent memory, adding yet another milestone to Caitlin Clark's rapidly growing legacy both on and off the court. At this point, you can officially lock it in because the reactions to the Caitlin Clark sneaker reveal are coming in from every direction, and fans seem completely divided on what they've seen so far. Ever since the images started circulating online, social media has been flooded with opinions, comparisons, and debates about what Nike is planning with Caitlin Clark's first signature shoe. Some fans immediately loved the design and said they were ready to buy a pair the moment they became available, while others felt the shoe didn't quite live up to the massive expectations that naturally come with a player of Clark's popularity. When you're one of the biggest names in basketball and arguably the most influential player in women's basketball today, every detail gets analyzed, and that's exactly what's happening here. One of the biggest questions floating around is whether these images were intentionally leaked as part of a marketing strategy or if they surfaced earlier than Nike originally planned, especially considering that an October release still feels several months away. Many sneaker enthusiasts believe major brands occasionally allow controlled leaks to build anticipation and generate conversation long before an official launch. If that was the goal here, it's definitely working because people can't stop talking about the shoe. On the other hand, if the images weren't supposed to be public yet, then Nike may have accidentally stumbled into a huge wave of free publicity. Either way, the sneaker is now one of the hottest topics in basketball circles. Beyond the timing, the design itself has sparked plenty of debate. Some fans believe Nike should be taking bigger risks with its signature athletes, arguing that many modern basketball shoes share similar silhouettes with only slight differences in textures, materials, and colorways. Others have compared the Caitlin Clark model to existing sneakers already on the market, mentioning similarities to popular releases and wondering whether the shoe does enough to establish its own unique identity. A few critics even suggested that Nike missed an opportunity to create something completely different that reflects Clark's unique style of play, deep shooting range, and game-changing impact on basketball. Of course, not everyone agrees with those criticisms. A large portion of fans genuinely love what they've seen, praising the clean design, versatile look, and strong colorway options that have already surfaced online. Many people actually prefer a simple and wearable basketball shoe rather than something overly flashy. The blue colorway received a lot of positive feedback because it feels connected to Clark's basketball journey, while the all-black version caught attention for its sleek and premium appearance. For many supporters, the shoe doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. They simply want a high-performance sneaker that represents one of their favorite players, and from that perspective, Nike may have delivered exactly what they were hoping for. The discussion has become even more interesting because some supporters remain skeptical about the authenticity of the leaked images, pointing out that they haven't seen an official announcement or reveal directly from Nike. That uncertainty has only fueled even more speculation across social media and basketball communities. Until Nike officially unveils the sneaker, there will continue to be questions about whether these are final designs, early prototypes, or simply promotional samples. Fans are now watching closely for any official confirmation because they want to know exactly what the finished product will look like. Regardless of where people stand on the design, one thing is becoming increasingly clear: the Caitlin Clark signature shoe is generating exactly the kind of conversation that major releases are supposed to create. Whether fans love it, hate it, or are still waiting for more details before making a decision, people are paying attention and talking about it nonstop. That's a sign of Clark's growing influence not only in basketball but also in the sneaker world. Very few athletes can create this level of buzz before a shoe is even officially announced, and that speaks volumes about her popularity and marketability. As for Sandy Brondello's comments, they added another layer to an already busy news cycle by once again highlighting the respect Caitlin Clark commands around the league. What stood out most was how openly Brondello acknowledged Clark's ability to impact a game beyond scoring. She talked about the challenges of defending her, the pressure she puts on defenses, and the way she creates opportunities for teammates. Those comments reinforce something basketball fans have been saying all season: Caitlin Clark isn't just a scorer. She's a complete offensive engine capable of controlling every aspect of a game. Between the praise from coaches, the excitement surrounding her growing brand, and the anticipation building around her signature sneaker line, Clark continues to remain at the center of the basketball conversation. Whether it's her performances on the court, the attention she brings to the WNBA, or now her expanding partnership with Nike, she continues to move the needle in ways very few players can. Every week seems to bring another headline, another milestone, or another major discussion involving her name. Now the question shifts to the fans. What do you think about the sneaker design, the leaked images, and everything Sandy Brondello had to say? Do you think Nike nailed the first Caitlin Clark signature shoe, or were you expecting something completely different? Are the comparisons to other basketball sneakers fair, or are people judging the shoe too early before seeing the official release? Drop your thoughts below, join the discussion, and let your opinion be heard, because this debate is only getting started, and it's likely to keep growing as more details about the Caitlin Clark sneaker line continue to emerge.